So you should all be able to see my screen. And before we even get started in Command, you're going to need to use Google Chrome. If you don't have Google Chrome on your computer yet, you can download it. It's free. Google is our back-end provider. So all of the systems for Command are built to work best within Google Chrome. If you use Safari, you will have a lot of issues and things won't work properly for you. Things just won't show up. So go ahead and download Google Chrome. And then to get started in Command, go to agent.kw.com. And that will take you to this screen here. And you'll log in, using your login information for all of your KW sites. So your KW internet site is going to be the same as this here. Same for your Kelie app. So once you're here, put in your information and click sign in. And this will log you into Command. So what I'm going to do is we're going to walk through the system overview real quick, so that way you can get familiar with all the different capabilities and functions and applets within the system, and then we'll jump into setting up your marketing profile. So I'm going to kind of start over here at the left-hand corner and kind of work my way to the right. So up in the top left-hand corner, there's a nice little red KW box. You can click on this and it will expand the menu over here in the left. So if you're ever like, oh, where's my opportunities, and you don't recognize the symbol, you can click on the red KW box, and that will maximize and minimize the name of the applets. Then to the right of that, it says Command. And Command is going to be our main day-to-day system that we're going to use. It's what's going to house all of our contacts. So it'll be our CRM and database management platform. It's going to be where we run any paid advertisements. It's where our sales funnel lives, and where we submit our contracts to Lynn and Alita for compliance review. You're going to spend, I'd say, probably 98% of your time within the system within Command. To the right of that is Connect. And if you click on that, it'll open up Connect. Connect is really meant to be kind of a social platform within Command. One of the best ways to think about this is Connect is going to be the KW First Atlanta Mission Control, but here within the system. So that way we won't have to use Facebook groups. But here you can share upcoming listings, ask any questions to other agents. And when you click in here, you'll notice you'll be automatically added to two groups. One will be the Atlanta Sandy Springs group, which will be all the members of the First Atlanta family. And then next is going to be the Southeast, so all of the agents within the Southeast region. And you can click between the two. So I could click on Southeast. So if I had an agent that, I knew someone that was going to be moving to Tennessee, I could come in here and say, hey, Southeast family, who in outside Nashville is a great agent to refer? Perfect. So you can add a comment here, click through members, events. And then to go back, you just click on home. Now one thing real quick. Over here, when you're in Connect, over here on the right-hand side, it says, welcome to our new Connect. Mike has been posting a lot of all the live streams that KWRI has been doing the last couple months, especially as a lot of our businesses have been affected by COVID. We're spending more time at home, not able to go to trainings in person. When Mike posts, hey, today at 2 o'clock, KWRI is hosting a lead gen mastermind. You are going to find that mastermind by coming into Command, going to Connect, and then coming over here to the right-hand side to welcome to your new Connect, and then clicking on KW Connect, and it'll open up a new browser window. And this will be where you find all of those live streaming classes and a bunch, the calendar for the week, and then a bunch of on-demand videos. If you're familiar with mykw.kw.com, there is a Connect there. This is a different Connect. So make sure you go through the Connect feature within the Command platform. Now, what I was going to say earlier is Labs has kind of paused on building out Connect at the moment. So it's kind of been in this same status for a while. The labs team shifted focus to building out all of the command platforms and making sure that everything was working really well, especially with the integration with Docusign and getting agents moved over to that. So once command is fully operational and everything is working fine and there are no hiccups, they're going to shift their focus back to Connect to really build out this platform. So that way we have a great way for us to automatically and immediately connect with other agents in our office, in our region. You can also be a part of other groups here as well. So if you're part of any like special groups, any specific designations that you have, or something like, KW Luxury, Live Luxury, you'd be part of that group here as well. And you can share content and information together. Any questions on Connect? All right. So continuing to the right, you'll notice on my screen, it says Command MC. So that's Command Market Center. Since I'm a part of the office staff, I have access to that. You won't as agent, so disregard it. Continuing to the right, let me just click back into Command. Over to the right here, if you were on a team, so if you're on, if you're part of the Lewis group or Lindy and Sarah group, or any of the other teams and groups in the office, you would have a drop-down menu right here, and that would allow you to select between the command for your team and the command for yourself. And there are different rules and regulations and and permissions for the content that you have for yourself as an agent versus what you share with your team. So you can easily click between the two. That would be right here. To the right of that is this nice little shop icon for KW Marketplace. KW Marketplace is where you can go to find a bunch of third-party programs and apps that you can integrate directly into Command. So knowing that a lot of agents have their own systems and their own preferences on, different outside tools, or maybe some e-signature platforms or texting capabilities or email, you can integrate all of that into Command. And the benefit of that is that way you can have all of that data from multiple systems all integrated together, and you can see how they all work together. And you can track, okay, well, I sent this text message to this client, and I've also sent this email, and I had this transaction, and you have all this data for your contacts in one place. You can search through here, find all the different apps that you would want to potentially connect. I will say most of these apps probably cost money, but I imagine that if you're paying for them already with your business, you'd be fine with that. They're broken out by categories over here. By feature, you can search all applications. So you can kind of see here, Home Jab, Virtual Tours, 150, just the different costs. Market Leader, Command Email, Loop. So if there are any programs here that you want to go through and add that you're currently using or has been recommended to you, you can just go through here and add that app for you. All right. So to the right of the marketplace icon is a bell, and this is going to be your notifications bell. So anytime you submit a contract for review, or you receive an email from a client or a text message, you will receive a notification at this notification bell here. So you can see there's a red dot that lets me know I have a notification. So I'll click on it, and it will let me know that my compliance event for my contract has been approved. Perfect. Good to know. Everything's taken care of. You will also, if you've downloaded the Kelie app, you will receive a notification if you're logged into the Kelie app on your phone. This is a great time for me to tell you that there is currently not a mobile version of Command. Labs is building that, so that way if you're out and about, you can log into Command on your phone and have the same functionality that you would on your desktop. At the moment, we don't have that. Kelie is our Command extension mobily. So if you log in, you'll have access to all of your contacts. You can send text messages, do all sorts of stuff, but you will receive a notification on your phone that says compliance review event or new message from contact. And that way you can, or especially if you, let's say you're running an ad campaign and you get a new lead, you would receive a notification on your phone from Kelie, as well as on the notification bell here in Command, new lead in system, and you can contact them immediately and let them know, hey, I saw you were interested in this property, how can I help? And help build that sales funnel for yourself. All right, so to the right of the notification bell, you'll see I have a picture of myself and my name, and there's a drop-down menu here. So I'm gonna click on this drop-down menu, and the first selection is the profile. So this would be my overall profile for Command. The next is settings, and this is gonna be kind of our system settings, and we'll walk through this in just a moment. The next is going to be Command training. So Keller Williams University has set up a ton of training. So I'm obviously here as the Market Center Director of Technology, and I'm here to help you with all of your KW tech needs and answer questions and do trainings. But if, let's say it's 11 o'clock and you have a question and you're trying to write a contract or something's going on, always check out Command training. They have a ton of content here that you can access for free, and it's going to be available 24/7. And then below that is to log out if you ever need to log out. So to the right of your name in that drop-down menu is a circle with a question mark. And I want you to pay extra close attention to this, because this is going to be a very, very, very popular feature for you, and something that I'm going to recommend that you use fairly regularly. It is inevitable that when you are going through Command, there's one day something's not going to work properly. You'll reach out to me and we'll try to troubleshoot it. But if I'm unable to troubleshoot it for you, this question mark up here in the top right-hand corner is where you can reach out to lab support. So when you click on the question mark, this pop-up window will show up for help and information. You have three choices. The first is going to be Keller Williams University. So what I was just talking to you about a moment ago, let's say it's 11 o'clock and you have a question on how to do something. You forgot how to add a contact to an opportunity, but you need to get that contract submitted immediately. You can come here, click on the question mark, and you can click on Keller Williams University. And then you could type in whatever your question. So let's do something with opportunities. If I could spell, click enter. And then you'll see all of these articles will pop up on opportunities. So, okay, I need to know how to create an opportunity. I can click on this article right here. Here's a video on how to create that opportunity. And then here is all this content and step-by-step instructions on how to create that opportunity. So I would imagine that more than likely you'd be able to answer your question by going to KW University right here. You can also click on this button here, and this will open up that article in a new browser window. So that way you could click back and forth between what you were doing in Command versus following the steps of the instructions here. So let me come back. All right. So I definitely recommend you check out KW University. Ask lots of questions, check things out, tons of videos. I'm obviously here anytime you need me, but if there's something you just want really quickly need an answer on and I'm unavailable, check out Keller Williams University here. The next below Keller Williams University is chat with support. So let's say you're having an issue, you try troubleshooting it, you and I jump on a Zoom call together, try to troubleshoot it, and I cannot figure it out. We've done everything. I'm going to recommend that you submit a support ticket to Labs. Through that circle question mark in the top right-hand corner, this chat with support is where you would go to submit that support ticket. I actually just submitted one this morning. So to do that, I would click on chat with support. All right, let me click on it again. Sometimes it likes to be a little ornery. Chat with support. Perfect. It may take a few times for the support window to pop up, but I promise it will. So you'll see here, it pops up at this window and it says, welcome to support. Here are some suggestions for you. So it's just going to provide automatically a couple suggestions of probably the most commonly asked or commonly common issues that the Labs team gets. And I could, right here, I could just start typing a question to the Labs team. It does have an automatic response here, which will continue to send some articles from KW University, but there is an actual labs team that can take over and start communicating with you with chat. So what you can do is once they send this, it's going to say get in touch. So you'll click on get in touch. And then this option, this bot option will show up where you can do live chat. So you could chat with a person in labs. They will put you in a queue and it'll let you know, hey, you are 10th in queue to chat with labs. It'll be about 30 minutes. If you want to do that, by all means, you can spend 30 minutes and do some other things while you wait to talk with labs. I always recommend that you leave a message, and this will be submitting an actual support ticket. And the difference is your communication with labs will be done through email, and you'll have a support ticket number, and you'll be able to reference that number back and forth if things take longer than just the day to get resolved. So I'd recommend you click on leave a message, and then you would fill out this information for the technical support ticket. So you put your subject, you'd put your email address, your name, your region, so Southeast region, market center, we're 156. Select your topic, whatever part of command is not working well for you and you're having issues. Provide a quick description. And then if you're able to take a Loom video or a video screenshot of the issue that you're having so that way they can see it, you can paste that link here, or you can post up to 5 screenshots. So you can add attachments that way. They can get as much information, and that'll help the labs team help you troubleshoot so much quicker your issue and get you that resolved for you. One thing I want to mention is if you were to try to submit this support ticket and don't have anything in this video or screenshot URL, it'll give you an error message and require you to put something. Just put 0. Anytime you don't have any information to fill out for a field, just put 0, so that way the system will say, okay, there's something in that field, we're good to go, and you can submit it. And then once you submit that, you will automatically get an email to the email address that you provided above, letting you know the support ticket has been submitted and someone will be back to you as soon as possible. So that is why I always recommend submitting a support ticket, and you do this through the question mark up here in the top right-hand corner and click on chat with support. And then the last icon or last item here is post an idea. So one of the great things about Keller Williams and with labs and command is that it's built for agents by agents. So everything that's a part of command here is something that someone recommended. Hey, having this part of a system would be really helpful. Oh, I really like this feature from this other system that I pay for, but if I could connect it with, my social media, that would be even better. And so labs took all that feedback to create what we now have as command. You probably have a lot of ideas of what could make command better, what can make it work better for yourself, how you could streamline some things. If you ever have an idea like that, submit it. Let the labs team know. We're always looking, they are always looking for ways to make this system better for everyone. So if you have that idea, come here to click on post an idea. And then you can describe your idea here, post any file or screenshot of something that you could see how it could work. And then that would add that idea to a list of ideas, and other agents can go in and they can vote for that idea. So if a bunch of agents say, oh, wow, I really like that person's idea, that would work really well for my business, they can start voting it up and it will go to the top of the list, and labs will know, okay, this idea is really popular. We need to look into this, how we can add this to command. So always check that out. Share your ideas. You can only make the system better as you are experiencing issues or finding some dead ends. Let myself know, let labs know. Anything that we can do to make it better is going to better your business as well as everyone within the organization. So that is up here in the top, the question mark in the circle up here in the top right-hand corner. KW University, submitting a support ticket, and post an idea. One thing really quickly I want to point out is that down here in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see there's a little bubble that says support. You can also submit a support ticket this way as well. So rather than clicking on the question mark in the top right-hand corner, then selecting chat with support. You can click on this support bubble right here in the bottom right-hand corner, and that'll open up the support chat button. So you have two ways that you can submit a support ticket and always have access to support. Any questions so far? A lot of information. All right. So now I kind of want to walk through our home screen of Command and kind of the different features of it. One thing that's really great about Command is that this home screen, you can organize it and make it any which way you want. So that way when you log in every day, every morning, you have the information that's going to be most beneficial for your business. So it'll probably default to something very similar to this, but you can make it your own. So let's walk through what each of the different fields are, and then we'll walk through how we can change it and personalize it. So for here, for me, I have tasks. So this will let me know when I first log in every day what my tasks are for my contacts. So if I need to create a CMA for a listing presentation I have on Friday, I can log in. When I log in to say tomorrow morning, it'll say create listing presentation for 1234 Main Street. Or if I have an opportunity, I can create tasks for opportunities that'll let me know, send over the inspection report, make sure the amendment to address concerns is signed. All of those different features as being a part of an opportunity. So it'll let me know right when I log in what I need to do that day. And you can switch between opportunity tasks and contact tasks. And another great thing is you can add a task right here from the home screen. So you can just click create new task, and then boom, it'll take you right into the task home screen. So you can create one there. So it makes it really simple. This is a great way to help keep yourself accountable. You're able to, within this home screen here, you can snooze, which I'll show you in just a little bit. So if you're like, I don't need to do this until tomorrow, or do it this afternoon, or you can let them know it's completed. So that way when you log in tomorrow, it won't show up anymore. So great way here to help manage a lot of your workload. All right. Over here to the right is recent leads. This is going to be if you manually enter a lead, or if you have a paid campaign that funnels leads into your command system. And leads are going to be anybody that you don't know, that you don't have a relationship with, that you could potentially engage in business with. So someone that you just met, or someone that clicked on one of your ads that says, hey, I'm interested in buying or selling, they would be a lead. So when you get that text message or that notification from Kelie on your app, hey, you have a new lead in your system, when you log into Command, it'll be right here in the top right-hand corner, or can be right there in the top right-hand corner for you to know, and you can click right on it, and it will take you into that contact card. And so that way you have your phone number, email, and you can just give them a call right then and say, hey, I saw that you're interested in this listing that I have at 1234 Main Street. Let's set up a showing, or however you want to do it. All right, scrolling down to the left, we have goals versus actuals. So this is going to be where you can quickly keep track of how you are performing against your business goal for the year. So just so you know, like all of this is mostly made up because most of my opportunities at the moment are fake for training. So don't actually look at any of the numbers. But if I were to have gone in and say, okay, my GCI goal for 2020 is $245,000. The system would be able to break that down into how many calls I need to make, how many appointments I need to go on, how many appointments I need to win, how many listings I need to have, how many buyers I need to have, how many units I need to close per month, per quarter, per year, what my average sales point needs to be. So it can help you keep track of all those numbers for you. So I could say, oh crap, I am really low on leads. I need to figure out a way that I can get a lot more people into my sales funnel. And that will shift the activities that I take for the next couple of weeks. So that way I can start to fill my funnel with leads, because I know I need apparently 38,000 leads to get my 169 appointments to have my contracts, 41 contracts and 31 closings. So it just helps you keep track. Now there is a way within the system that you can break this down even more. And then you can look at it here for goals versus actuals for this year. And then you can also break it down for just the month. So this will be what I've done for the month of June. And my monthly GCI goal here is 20,000. All right. And then to the right over here is the playbook. And this is a new feature. And this is something that came out as, especially around the time of COVID when we went into quarantine, and KWRI was really focusing on providing a lot of content and keeping agents engaged and learning to move their business forward, knowing that COVID isn't going to be forever. And there's going to be a time where our business is ramped up and we're back to showing homes every single day. So when you log in, the playbook is going to be where you can watch past live streams, past masterminds, past training workshops, and let you know also what's coming up for the day. So you can go ahead and watch them. I really recommend that if you have some time and you see some interesting content here, to check it out. I think it's really beneficial. A lot of agents have had a lot of positive things to say about it. Scrolling down, we have our database health comparison. And this is really just going to let you know really quickly, how does your database look compared to other agents in my market center? And it breaks it down by phone number, email, address, and neighborhoods, knowing that these are the key pieces of information that you will want to interact with your clients, provide them really specialized information about the market. And we'll talk more about that as we go into the contacts as well. So I can see here that compared to my office, I only have 19% of my contacts have phone numbers, where the average agent in our First and Lane office has 61% of their contacts have phone numbers. And same thing with email, address. So it lets me know that maybe I need to start reaching out to my contacts and say, hey, I'm just going through and cleaning up my database. Can I get your most updated phone number and address? Like, how can I reach you? I'm not going to spam you. Just want to make sure I have the most updated contact. So I'm doing two things. I'm touching my database. I'm giving them a call, engaging with them, and obviously wanting to have a phone conversation with them, see how they're doing, how they and their family and friends are doing with Korona, how their job is. But also, it gives me an opportunity to get updated information so I can get my database as clean and updated and strong as possible, because the more information you have, the better specialized specific information I'll be able to provide to my contacts. And then you can also click up here to compare to agents in Georgia, all agents within KWRI. And then I think this is pretty interesting, agents in production bracket above mine. So you can see, all right, if I want to take my business to that next level, as I want to climb the ladder to become a true millionaire real estate agent where I'm closing $1 million of GCI every year, I can see, all right, I need to get more information here. I need to have more email addresses, phone numbers. I need to build my database, because my database is my lifeline. It's going to be where I get business. So it's just a great way for you to get an idea of how strong your database is and some gaps that you can start to fill in. So just keep that in mind. And then to the right, we have design updates. So one thing that's really great about Command is that we have this whole designs applet. And if you're familiar with Canva, I think it's going to be most similar to Canva, where you can go in and you can make edits and make your own graphics and designs, and it makes you look like you have a full marketing team working behind the scenes to get you these really amazing designs. Everything is free, and you have the rights to use all of those images and all that content across all of your marketing, across your website, business cards, everything. So you have all those copyright permissions. So it's definitely something to take advantage of, because you never want to be caught in a copyright violation, because it could cost you thousands of dollars. So you don't have to worry about that with designs. So you can just kind of see here all the most updated designs. So that way, if there's something that's going on, there's something that's time sensitive, it'll all be right here and you can check that out. Scrolling down, we have new leads to claim. So if I have new leads that have come in, especially if I'm on a team, I can go here and I can claim them and say, all right, I want this lead that came in from my Facebook campaign, and then start to engage them here. And it lets me know, where they're from and the actions that I need to take. Over here to the right, we have product updates. Command is constantly being updated to improve it, make it better, make it faster, add some of those cool features and ideas that we had submitted from the post an idea feature earlier. Here is where we're going to be told what's new with Command. Fixed, smart plan not displayed immediately after subscribing, exporting contacts, put an entire address and street address. So all these little fixes and errors that people are submitting, letting labs know, hey, this isn't working right, this could be better. All that information so we know what's going on is right here. So check it out. I come here regularly just to understand what's going on, to learn more about what's going on in Command. So you can see what's new and then what's next. So I guess no news for what's next, but always see what's new and what's being updated. And most updates are released on Tuesdays. So you'll kind of see any big changes. And usually 9 times out of 10, to have that update appear within your command, you'll need to clear your cache and cookies to make sure that your web browser is pulling the most updated information and programming out of command. All right, and then at the bottom here, we have a notepad. So let's say you just log into command and you just want to type a really quick note like, oh, hey, have a great day, or make sure you smile, or wish someone, I don't know, whatever you need to do here, you can just write a quick note. Or you can, let's say you just got off the phone with a client, like, oh, my client really loves Indian food, find the best Indian restaurants around their new home. So then you can say, hey, I know we have our inspection scheduled this Friday. It's at 10. I was thinking maybe afterwards we can meet at the inspection, and then afterwards we could go to lunch. And I found this great Indian restaurant right around the corner. So I'd love to, check it out with you, and we get to know your new neighborhood. Perfect. You listen, you're providing service, you're being of value. And that way you have this great lunch that you can build that relationship and connect with, and also talk through the details of the inspection, kind of what are your next steps. So notepad here is just a great place for you to jot down some quick notes on the pop into your head. So these are all the features of the homepage. Some of them are going to be more useful than others to you. And the ones that are going to be useful to me are not going to be useful to you, and vice versa. So we do have the capability of customizing our homepage. So up in the top right-hand corner, there's a blue-green box, I guess teal. It says Customize Home. So if you click on that, you can see here, it has all of the widgets that we can select from. So I have all of mine selected, but let's say I don't really care about designs updates. I don't need to know that. I can just uncheck that and it will remove that from my homepage. Like I don't need to know what's going on in designs, whatever. Perfect. So I can remove it. And then let's say I'm like, you know what? I really need to know my new leads are the most important. So I need leads up here. Leads notification, I want that up at the top. And I want to constantly have my goals versus actual, so I can see every single day when I log in how I'm tracking in my business. And then below here, tasks. So that way I know what I need to do to reach those goals. And then I want to put my notepad up here because it's more important to me than product updates. Perfect. So now you can rearrange all of these. Now, one thing that's you can't do is see these smaller boxes, you can't move them over to the left-hand side. So you can, based on the size, if it's the large rectangle or the square, you can only move it up or down. But this way you can make your home page specialized and specific to you and what you need and what's going to help your business. Everything in Command is built to make your business more efficient, make you more effective as an agent and more effective as a business owner. So make sure that you come in here, spend a few minutes, figure out what works well for you, what are you going to use, what are you going to take advantage of, and what habits do you need to start to create to make your business better that you can use Command for. So once you kind of got all these widgets in the order and the place that you want, click Apply, and it will update the home screen. I don't want to make these changes, so I'm going to click Cancel. And then all of your new customized widget order will show up here on your home screen. Any questions about what we've walked through, the home screen, the different applets, the different widgets, organizing them? All right. So now let's jump into settings, and we'll kind of walk through setting up our marketing profile and setting up our, the different preferences for the program. So up in the top.
Nick, this is Jay. I was trying to hit the unmute button. I couldn't find it. Yeah, I had a quick question about the goals versus actuals, because I noticed that mine says 0. Is there a way that I'm supposed to link this to the opportunity where it automatically updates, or do we have to manually update that?
So what you would do is you would come over here to the right-hand side. Let me see, where is it? Reports. You click on reports, and then you would come over here to goals, and you would change your goal settings, and that would help. That would create the baseline for your goal for the year. And then based on your opportunities that you have, that's how it will keep track of how well you're doing in keeping those leads, those appointments, those contracts, those listings and all that.
So first you have to get the goals in there, and then I'll start registering the opportunities.
Correct. And I go through goals as a part of TCO2. So next Tuesday I'll walk through that, but there is also the TCO2 training that I did previously on the KW First Atlanta YouTube channel. So if you want to walk through that over the next couple of days, by all means do. And you and I can set up some time if you'd like to walk through it together.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So now let's walk through our settings. So up here in the top right-hand corner where you see your name, click on the drop-down menu and click on the settings button. And now we're going to walk through all the settings, and there is a lot of them. So where we are right now is going to be our general command settings, and it's going to default into our integrated apps settings. So you can see here, applications, connected apps. And there's going to be a list of apps that we can easily add and connect to command for free. So I'll walk through those really quickly with you. So the first one is going to be Docusign right here. I'm going to wait just a second to talk through Docusign after I walk through all the other ones, but Docusign is the preferred e-signature platform for Keller Williams. Below that is Facebook post scheduling. If you have a Facebook business page, you can connect that account to command, and then you can start to schedule your posts. So let's say every Monday you like to post a market update from the weekend, and then Tuesdays you like to post a recipe. Wednesdays you like to post a fun how-to article for how to make a home improvement. Thursday is I don't know, a past celebration of you and a client, and then Friday is some great ideas for safe family fun activities for the weekend. And you're going to do this every single week. You can use command to schedule out those posts. So you can go ahead and you can have your market stats ready a week in advance. Or let's say you're going on vacation and you don't want to wake up early every single morning to post to Facebook. Before you leave, you can schedule to have all those posts go live while you're on vacation. So then your sphere and everyone you're connected to on Facebook thinks that you are hustling and you are working really hard and you're providing all of that content and great information. Meanwhile, you're at the beach having a good time and working on your tan. So it's just a great way that you can use command again to leverage, so that way you can go do other things with your life and with your business, and you can still provide all that great content. But I do want to clarify that this here is just for scheduling posts. This isn't for any paid advertisements. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Excuse me, Nick, I have a question.
Yeah.
On the Facebook post scheduling, is it required for a business account, a business Facebook page, or your personal as well?
A business page is required.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so if you don't have a business page yet, it's super easy to make one. And then that business page will be affiliated with your personal login account, and then that's how they would connect to command.
Got it, thank you.
Yeah. And then if you ever have questions on setting that up, let me know and we can walk through that together.
Okay, I probably will.
Okay. The next icon here is Porch, and Porch is a preferred partner of KWRI, and it is a platform that you can go and get estimates for repair work. So if you have a listing and you receive an amendment to address concerns, and you want to get an idea of the things that you want to agree to do versus, maybe we just want to give closing costs or absolutely not, that's so expensive, you can use Porch to get an idea of what those costs for repairs will be. And on the flip side, if you're representing the buyers, you can say, hey, it's going to cost, $3,700 to get all 10 of these items from the inspection report repaired. And then you can use that with your amendment to address concerns to say, hey, listing agent, we want $3,700 in closing costs, and here is why we're asking for that specific amount to get all of these things taken care of. So it should be automatically connected for you. The next is Google Calendar and Gmail. So when you join Keller Williams, you have a KW email that uses the Gmail platform. So I would recommend that you connect your Google Calendar and your Gmail to Command. And the reason is as you send emails through Gmail to your contacts that you have set up in Command, the system will be able to link that contact to that email that you sent. And it will keep track of it. So, oh, I had a touch, or I had an interaction, or I had a correspondence with this contact, and you can count that towards your 36 touches per year. And it'll also save it so you can go back into your contacts card and say, oh, I talked with Susan 3 months ago, and here is the email chain that I can quickly read it to double check. So when I call her, I'm like, hey, Susan, just wanted to check in. When we were emailing a couple months ago, you were talking about how your daughter was graduating from high school. How'd that go? Where's she going to college? Are you excited? So it just real quick refresher, you have all that information in one place. The same thing with the Google Calendar. Let's say you set up coffee with your client or a contact. You can then look, okay, 2 years from now, I can look back and say, oh, that's right. I had contact with Andrew I had coffee with Andrew on June 26th, and perfect. So then I can say, hey, Andrew, it's been 2 months since we got coffee. How's it going? We should grab lunch soon and connect. So it just helps you keep track of all of your interactions. Now, I do want to clarify that connecting Gmail to Command does not allow you to send email directly from Command. All of your regular day-to-day email correspondence will stay in Gmail, but it just allows you to have all the email correspondence and calendar invites logged in Command. The next is Twilio, and Twilio is a text messaging service. Now, it does cost money, but if you ever want to send out mass text messages, or if you ever want to include your contacts on a smart plan, also known as a drip campaign, that has text messaging capabilities, you would need to use Twilio. It costs 0.0075 cents per text message. And the way that it works is that Twilio will charge you $20 and put that money into a bucket. And then as you start to send out text messages, it will kind of just deduct this 0.0075 cents for each text. And then once you get down to $10, it'll then charge you $20 more. So it is relatively inexpensive. You can send out like 500 text messages for like $10. So just think, I think a couple months ago, was it May? Michael Bunch gave a great, story, success story on how he used Twilio on Mother's Day just to send out a bunch of text messages to all the mothers in his database. And it was just a great touch. Let them know he was thinking of them and hoping that they were being celebrated. And he was able to have a couple text messages, conversations back and forth. Another thing with Twilio is that you can't use your own personal phone number. They will automatically assign you a text message phone number. Because you're with KW, it'll default to an Austin, Texas number. But for $1 a month, you can rent an Atlanta area code. Your first thought's going to be, but wait, if I start text messaging my database, no one's going to know that's for me because it's not my phone number, which is correct. So I'd always recommend that you say in your text message, I would put Nicholas Core, KW First Atlanta, or just at least put my name in there. And then when people are like, hey, Nick, I got a text message from this number, but it's not from your number. And I would just say, this is what Michael Bunch said, and I love it. He's like, oh, this is my business number. You know, I'm a millionaire real estate agent, so I have a business, my own separate business number. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So easy way to get around that. So I recommend checking out Twilio. I talk about it more in TCO2 when we go through smart plans, and I also did a deep dive on it a couple weeks ago. Let me know what questions you have on it. We can get you set up on that. The next is going to be Twitter post scheduling. Oh, I have a question. Love that. Yeah, it's a great feature and really cheap, and it's a great way to stay connected with your database in the way that they are communicating. So Twitter post scheduling, similarly to what we talked about with Facebook, if you have a Twitter that you use regularly, you can connect that account so you can schedule posts. I don't really use Twitter very much, so I don't have mine connected. You should just be able to, you don't need a business page for that. You can just connect your personal. But I would recommend that if you are going to be posting real estate information, that you do have some type of real estate designation in your profile so people know that you are an agent with First Atlanta, and that's why you're sharing all this great real estate information. All right, so moving down, getting into productivity. So eEdge actually is no longer supported to connect with Command. eEdge is the old system that we used to use as our CRM and website management platform. It no longer connects. But right here is PieSync, and PieSync is a service that will connect two different programs. So you can connect if you have another CRM that you're using, or another management platform, or another text message service, you can connect that platform directly to Command. So it'll link all of the touches and data and information between the two different systems, so you can have all that information for each contact in one place. It does cost money. I think it's like $10 a month, and it depends on the number of systems that you have connected. But let's say if you're using Real Geeks CRM now and you're paying 150, 200 bucks a month, I don't know, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to pay that. Command has all those same great features, and I already pay for it as part of my monthly office fee. You can use PieSync. You can pay the $10 for 1 month, and you can have it just unload all of those contacts and all that information out of Real Geeks directly into Command. And then you can just cancel that, and you'll be good to go because you have everything now in Command. Or if you want to continue to use those other systems but house everything in Command as well, you can pay that monthly fee, and it will update every couple of days to make sure everything is most updated in both platforms. The next is Office 365. So as I was talked about earlier, connecting your Gmail. If you use Office as your email provider, you can connect that. So that way, the same way that, you know, in Gmail, you can have all of your email correspondence logged in Command. So that way, you know exactly what you were talking about with your contacts and how often, so you can connect that there. All right. So scrolling down, we're going into the marketing automation. So this is going to be connecting our social apps for paid campaigns. So different than scheduling posts, but you can run paid campaigns directly through Command, which is really great. And as being a part of Keller Williams, you get to leverage the scale of the largest real estate company in the world to get better costs for your advertisements. So rather than running an ad through Facebook directly for your real estate business, and it's just, you know, me, little old Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, I'm going to pay a premium to get my ad seen. But when I'm Nicholas Core with Keller Williams First Atlanta, part of KWRI, I'm going to get better rates, and I'm going to get better positions. So always recommend running your ads through Command. Here, you would connect Facebook. It would actually be the same login as what you use for the post scheduling connection. It would actually be your personal login. And then when you connect your personal account, it'll show you all the business accounts or business pages that you have set up that you can use. I've worked with agents that have like 10, 15 different business pages. and they all show up and you can use all of them. The same thing for Twitter. So if you want to run Twitter ads, you connect your account here. And then lastly, Google AdWords. So if you want to run a lot of paid search, you can do that directly from here. So if you get any leads from that paid search, you can do that. One thing I really like about paid search, I haven't done it personally, but paid search, you only pay if someone clicks on it. So if you're willing to bid pretty high for, probably Atlanta, realtor, real estate, and you can be shown, people may not actually click on it, so you don't have to pay for it, but you're still getting shown. So it's just an interesting way that you can start to build that brand awareness and start to, build your funnel as well. And then the last two here is going to be our email services. So Command Email, which is built on the Mailjet platform, but Command Email is going to be the email service that all of the emails from Command use to send. So from Command, we can set up smart plans, I mentioned earlier, which are drip campaigns, and that we can provide market updates, let our clients know, hey, this is what's going on in your market, or any other, open house follow-up smart campaign, and it will use this command email. You're already signed up for it. Only thing you need to do is click on Manage, and a pop-up window will show up, and you'll just confirm what you want your sender name to be and what you want your reply email to be. So make any changes there, but that's all you have to do, and you are good to go to start sending out smart plans and drip campaigns. Next is Mailchimp. So as a member of Keller Williams, you do get a free Mailchimp account, and with that Mailchimp account, you have the ability to have one campaign group and send up to 2,000 with 2,000 contacts, and you can send up to 5,000 emails in 1 month. Mailchimp is going to be more of your HTML emails that have a lot of pictures, more of your newsletter type contents. Command did just make an update to allow your Command email to send out those types of HTML email newsletters. I personally, as an individual and as an agent, I think the Mailchimp platform is much easier to use for setting up HTML emails. So you can set up your account here. If you don't have an account, create one here. It's free. And I've done a couple deep dives into sending email campaigns, and I'm always happy to talk with you if that's something you want to do, because at the moment, Command does not have the traditional newsletter email blast that we used to have out of eEdge. So I know a lot of agents still want to provide that type of content, and I would recommend a Mailchimp for that. But let me know, and I'm happy to walk you through setting up your email if you want to do that. So really quickly, I promised when we first got in here, I talked to you about Docusign. So Docusign is now the preferred e-signature platform for Keller Williams. It is integrated into the platform seamlessly, so you can move documents from Docusign directly into Command. You do have to create your Docusign account from within this settings page of Command. If you already have a Docusign account, you cannot link that with your Keller Williams Command account. If for whatever reason you really dislike Docusign, or you just really love .loop, or you really love RDocs, you don't have to use Docusign. You don't. Whatever is going to be best for your business and be the easiest for you, I recommend you use that platform. I do personally love Docusign. I like it a lot more than .loop. So I would recommend that you use Docusign, and you're going to get the most tech support and help using Docusign versus any of the other programs. So create your account here. There should be a little connect account button here. I have a quick YouTube video on the KW First Atlanta channel on how to go through the process of creating your account, connecting it, and having that all set up for you. All right, any questions on settings and connecting apps before we jump into our command settings?
Yes, Nick, this is Janine Reedy again.
Yeah.
So at this office, do we have the templates already made for like the brokerage agreement, the exclusive listing agreement, where we can just go in and add like the customized information, but some of it's already pre-filled for DocuSign?
So yes and no. All of the GAR forms are in DocuSign. You have access to them as a member of the Atlanta Realtor Association. It's different than .loop and how we could kind of set up some like templates in .loop and everything just showed up. But yes, everything's in there. All you have to do is just add like, you know, some names, some dates for any of your documents or contracts in there, and it's all set up. I have.
Oh, so you can actually type on those GAR forms now, though.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Great, thank you.
But you do, for DocuSign, you do need to confirm your NRDS ID to have access to the GAR forms to use them because they are copywritten documents. So they just need to, DocuSign needs to confirm that you've paid your dues and you have the right to use those documents. And that video is on YouTube, but I can walk you through that as well. It's super easy.
Okay.
All right. So now that we have gone through our general settings here in Command, talking through connecting apps, we'll just kind of walk through all of the settings over here on the left-hand side. So we'll start with general settings, which is where we are. And then we'll go into command settings and we'll click on applications, which I guess is right here where we are. Now we'll click on contacts. So now we'll just kind of go through here. So we have our contact archive. So once you start adding a bunch of contacts into your database, you may realize that there's duplicates or someone that's old or someone that you don't want to work with, and you want to delete that contact. Well, it's actually kind of a multi-step process because Command doesn't want you to like accidentally delete a contact, because a lot of work goes into creating contact and adding them to smart plans and emailing and text messaging. And when you build that relationship, you don't want to just delete it by accident. So you actually have to archive that contact. And when you do that, it will remove it out of your active database, but it'll put it here into contact archive. At which point you could come over here, you could click on restore, or I could click delete. And it would ask me to confirm that I permanently want to delete this. And I could, select multiple. So you see, as soon as I select them, I can hit restore selected or delete selected. So that is what you would do if you need to delete contacts. The next is database wipe. So let's say you did a big upgrade or a big upload of contacts, and you're like, oh no, I really messed this up. I put the wrong information in, and like email addresses were all swapped. I need to wipe my database and redo it. Here's how you do that. You would click archive all contacts, and then it would move all the contacts that you currently have that you just uploaded into archive, and then you can delete all those archive contacts. So again, it's gonna be a multi-step process to remove those contacts so you don't do it by accident. So this is how you'd be able to clean it up. So that way when you uploaded a new list of contacts, there wouldn't be a bunch of duplicates, half with the wrong information and half with the correct information. Next is custom tags. And there's custom tags and custom fields, and I kind of want to talk to them a little bit about them at the same time because they're both different, but they're similar. So custom tags are going to be used to help you, quick question. Oh, thank you, Larry. I appreciate you joining. Let me know what questions you have. So as you're adding your contacts, you can start to add custom tags to those contacts. So that way you can help break clients and contacts into specific groups. So I have them set up as, how do I know them? So like, did I go to school with them? Did I work with them? I don't know them well. I know them from Facebook. And then I also have like what part of town they live in, or if they're in state or out of state. I have, if they're a mother, a dog owner, I have their favorite college football team, their favorite professional football team, soccer team. So in that way, let's say it's college football season and UGA just beat Florida again. I can send out a quick mass text to all my UGA contacts and say, go Dogs, whatever. And then I can send out another text message to my Florida contacts and, ha ha ha, we just beat you again. So it's a really quick way that you can kind of cut up and select and make sure you're tailoring the messaging for your client or for your contacts. You can have custom tags for your contacts, and you can also have custom tags for opportunities, and they are different. They don't work together. But opportunities is really going to be more about your actual contracts. So if at the end of the year you want to pull how many contracts did I close in Atlanta versus Alpharetta versus how many contracts were from referrals versus my sphere, and you can kind of break it down that way. So where custom tags is information that we can use to kind of break up our contacts. Custom fields is going to be information that we want to know about each one of our contacts. So I've added wedding anniversary as a custom field because that's not included with the contacts. But it's important because, you know, I can send out an anniversary card, I can send an anniversary text or Facebook message, and just a quick reminder, okay, perfect, anniversary. I can even make a smart plan to add them, just, you know, so that way the system will automatically send an email saying happy anniversary to you two, whatever. So if you want to add a custom field, you just click on create new custom field here. And then I could name whatever it is. So I can, you know, like this says, I'll just do favorite sports team. And then there's a drop-down menu, so I can select what type of field I want this to be. So if I want a text field, so then I can type in Falcons, Panthers, Eagles, whatever. Text area, drop-down menu, so if I want to put a couple different options in there. So if I want them, if they're, you know, I could, favorite sport, I could put football, baseball, basketball, swimming, gymnastics, you know, whatever. And that way I can kind of select. So that way I'm like, hey, there's, you know, a big gymnastics tournament in Atlanta this weekend. I know you love gymnastics. Do you want to go? I was thinking about getting tickets. And that's how, you know, I can easily find those people that like gymnastics. You can add in a URL, percentage, currency, and a date. So date, you'll probably, if you want to create a wedding anniversary, is going to be the field that you want to use. So you just select the field, and I'm not actually going to save this. And then I would recommend that you make this field a default custom field. And that means that this field will automatically show up on every single contact that you create. If you don't select make default custom field, on every contact, you'll have to go into custom fields, add new, and select favorite sports team. And I'll walk you through that in just a moment when we start adding contacts. But go through here, you can add as many custom fields as you like. You can make some default, some not default. Really think about this as what types of information do you want to know? What types of information can you use to build and deepen the relationships that you have with your contacts? So any which way you want to add those there. Next is going to be opportunity settings. So we have a design template. This is still being built out, so I'm going to skip through that. Opportunity archive. So similar to contacts, when you archive an opportunity, or when you are finished with an opportunity, or let's say you lose a deal, things fall through, you actually archive that opportunity. You never actually delete it. And that's good because in 2 years, you may want to come back and check out, oh, hey, I closed that. Your clients might say, hey, I have a question about our contract. We're having a bunch of issues with our basement. And I remember that came up in the inspection report. You can come back to your archived opportunities, restore it, and have all that information there. These will never be deleted, and you can't delete them. There's no delete option here. There's only a restore option. So it's just a great way to help you manage all of your contracts so you don't have to worry about ever losing anything, any documents.
I have a question, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay, I just, under searching the archive opportunities, I found an opportunity that I recently created that was listed here. Now, does the system some type of way automatically do this? Because I don't know how it became archived, and it was created June the 11th.
I'm assuming that you haven't closed it. Like it hasn't gone, like you haven't.
No, we're actually under contract, so nothing has been finalized as of yet.
So the system should not automatically have archived that. I would double check just to make sure to see that you didn't archive it by accident, or maybe you made a
Okay.
duplicate.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. But if you go into your opportunities and you see that the opportunity is not there, then come back here to the settings, command settings, opportunity archive, and then just click on restore.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. The next is agent sites. So these are also still being built out, but as a part of command, we can set up each client that has an address included in command will have their own little website that they can go to whenever they want to see the most updated information. So you can set this up for these, these landing pages here. So you can kind of get an idea of, what this looks like. You have some options. I can change here for the red template, blue template, or dark. This is really the only options you have. And then you can send this as an email. This is still being built out, so it's in there. We can use it. We can share that link, but it's still not at its highest form of function yet. And then the next, so that I was saying earlier, is my neighborhood. So if you want to go through here, you can add neighborhoods that you're an expert in. So you can select neighborhoods. To me, this is kind of tedious. So I can type in Atlanta. All right, so Atlanta Road. So I live in Smyrna, so I can add Atlanta Road, and it's going to pull up all these neighborhoods. And I live in Forest Hills, so I can select Forest Hills. Now you can see that this is going to be kind of pretty small. Like Forest Hills is actually kind of a pretty small area in Smyrna, and we're only allowed to select 10 neighborhoods. So I personally haven't added neighborhoods because I don't want anywhere on my marketing information or profile to show up that, like, I'm only an expert in Forest Hills and in, these 9 other areas, small other neighborhoods. I want people to know I work all over the metro area. So I personally haven't selected any areas, but I do know some agents that they only work in like one specific condo building, and they buy and sell every unit in that building. And so for them, this would make perfect sense that you are an expert in Spire. Like you only sell in the Spire building in Midtown. Perfect. So whatever works well for your business, you can add that information here. The next is import logs. And this is just going to help you keep track of whenever you do a mass import of contacts into command. So you can go back and see when you did it. You can download the file to see if there are any errors or issues that you experienced. So it just helps you keep track of that. All right, the next is going to be connect settings. And this is going to be our marketing profile. So we're going to spend a few minutes here because the marketing profile is really important for command. So up at the top, there's a green button that says Marketing Profile Kelie Guide. There are numerous Kelie guides in command, and basically the Kelie Guide is going to be a step-by-step process where you can add information, you can add some pictures, and it'll just help ease you through the process of adding all that information. Today, I don't think we need to go through the marketing profile because to me, it seems a little redundant because we can just add all that information here. But if you wanted to, you can check it out, click on this, and it'll pop up the Kelie Guide. So with everything in command, I like to just start at the top and work our way down. So we'll do that right here with our marketing profile. You'll see here that this is information that will be used across all commands. So it'll be used across our agent websites, any marketing material. So we want to make sure that all this information is accurate and up to date. So scrolling down, you see this icon here, this toggle. It says use my information to brand my agent website. Make sure you have that toggle on so it's green, because this will give the system permission to pull in the information and the images that you've added to your marketing profile to put on your website. And it'll just make it so much easier when you start to set up your agent website. So just make sure that is on. So the first thing we have here is our photo. This is a little headshot. the system recommends that you add a 360 by 360 pixel image of your headshot. And that is so you add a square image so it renders properly in this circle. And the same thing for the team logo. So the team logo is if you have your own personal logo for your team or your business. So I have my little Nicholas Core real estate groups. This is my logo. That is also 360 by 360. You more than likely probably don't have these images in a 360 by 360 size. You can easily do that in Designs by creating a new file with 360 by 360, and you can size those images correctly in that, or you can use it in Canva, either or. Super easy, but I do recommend that you actually upload a 360 by 360 image so that way everything loads and renders properly across command, your websites, marketing materials, landing pages. It will look a lot better because the system will stretch it out and make it look funny if you upload just like a rectangular image of a logo. So upload those here. Let me know if you need any help with setting up a 360 by 360. And then we'll come down here and just, most of this information will probably start to be preloaded for you, especially the required information, but go through here and add as much of the information as you can. The more information you add, like your license number, the more likely you will avoid any compliance issues. So since we have our agent websites and clients can search for homes on there, we need to make sure that we have all the information about ourselves and our contact information and license number so they know who we are, that we're affiliated with Keller Williams First Atlanta, and that we have access to share this information with them. Failure to include any of this information could cause a GREC violation and cost thousands of dollars. So just go through here and add all the information possible. Pretty easy. A quick bio. I would recommend you keep your bio to a couple sentences here because this will be pulled in across multiple different aspects of command, websites, and landing pages. And some of them have really short character amounts. So I mean, you can put as long as you want here and then edit it elsewhere, but I would recommend that you just keep it pretty small.
Hey, Nick, quick question. How do you use the realtor symbol? How did you get that one there?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't know how that showed up there. It just was there one day, but what I'll do is let me just copy and paste that into this chat.
Okay.
And then you can, to everyone, and then you can copy paste that into your marketing profile.
Thank you.
Probably the easiest way because I don't know how. Don't know how it got there. All right, so scrolling down, update your phone number, the office phone number. You can add your fax number, which I just use the office one. But make sure all this information is here so that way it shows up across all those different pages. All right, and then scrolling down, now we have our Market Center logo. And again, this will be 360 by 360. And that will make sure that it renders properly because if you just upload a logo, it's going to look all sorts of funky. Now, if you do not have the Keller Williams First Atlanta logo, most of the logos are uploaded to command, but Scott Hardy actually has uploaded all of the logos to rawlsgrouphelpdesk.com. So I'm going to put that in the chat window. So rawlsgrouphelpdesk.com. And then if you go to downloads and then select First Atlanta, it's a whole zip drive with different formats of it, full color, black and white, grayscale, some with backgrounds, some without backgrounds. So that way you have your pick of which logo you want to use. So check that out. And that way you can also use them on different marketing materials or listing presentations and whatnot. So upload that logo here, update the Market Center information here. And this is going to be especially important for compliance. So in that way, if a client is looking for listings or, for listings on your website, all the First Atlanta information is on the page as well as our information. So update that here. And then compliance footer. We don't have anything in the state of Georgia that we need to have included. So I just put Nicholas Core Realtor with Keller Williams First Atlanta. So it's just another opportunity to put my name, but also put Keller Williams First Atlanta. because anytime you have your name, you need to have a one-to-one of the brokerage name as well. And then some footer links and images. So we're not required to have any of these. I do know that in some states, I think like Texas and California, they're very particular about making sure that anyone that is on a real estate website, there's a link to all sorts of information. If there's something you want to add here, you can. In terms of images, you could put the realtor logo, you could put equal housing logo. If you have any logos for any designations, you could add those here as well. And those will show up on the bottom of your profile or pages. And then below here is we have links to our social media pages. So this is going to be really helpful. Sorry, there's a bug in my office. This will be really helpful as you're creating landing pages in your website. So all those icons that will show up like for Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn will automatically link to your channels. So I only use Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So those are the only pages that I've added, but you can add all of these channels here as well. And it just makes it easier by adding them here so they show up every single time and you don't have to copy paste that URL every time you want to make a landing page. All right, and then scrolling down, we have our Facebook and Google Analytics pixels. So if you run a lot of Facebook campaigns or you run a lot of Google AdWords campaigns, you may want to add one of their pixels onto your agent website. And that will help track people that go from your website or come from Facebook to your website and vice versa and collect a bunch of data. This is really going to be kind of like someone that is super familiar and runs a lot of campaigns and it tracks a lot of data. If you're just like a novice user, kind of a part-time user of paid campaigns, I don't recommend this. It probably won't provide the amount of benefit that is worth the amount of work it's going to take you to get those pixels. And then lastly, here at the bottom is going to be our branded KW app link. This should automatically populate for you, but if it doesn't, you'd get that out of the consumer applet. So over here on the left-hand side, consumer, and you can get that out of the site and app settings and then URLs. But that should automatically populate. And once you've updated all this, click on the save button and it'll let us know that our marketing profile is saved. So this information will be pulled in across everything within Command. And it'll just make it so much easier for you. Any questions about setting up our marketing profile?
I have a question. Well,
Yeah.
Real quick. The brokerage firm photo that you have, yes.
Yeah, the first
Are you able? Yep. Is that something that you can copy in the chat that we can use, or?
No. So what I'd recommend, in the chat, I put the rawlsgrouphelpdesk.com URL.
Okay.
I'd recommend go to that website and then click on downloads and then select First Atlanta, and Scott Hardy has already put together a whole zip drive of all of the logos for First Atlanta.
Awesome.
So you can use those. And then that way you can create a quick 360 by 360 image of the logo. And then you can also have those other logos if you need to put them on any other marketing material, listing presentations, buyer presentations, open house info, all that.
Fantastic. Thanks, Nick.
You are welcome. So we've gone through all of our settings. So now we can start to add contacts to Command. So I'm going to click on the home button so I can go back home. And as I mentioned earlier, anytime you click on this red KW, the KW up here in the top left-hand corner, it will expand our menu bar on the left-hand side. So let's get started with contacts. So I'm going to click on contacts here. And this will take me into the contacts applet. This will probably be your most heavily used part of Command because it's going to be your CRM, where you're messaging people, when you're making your phone calls and you're writing your letters. You'll want to keep track of everything here. So I'm going to show you how to add a contact first before we start messing around with all of this. So that way you can just get an idea of the information that goes into a contact. There are two ways that you can add a contact. The first is, and the simplest, is going to be add a contact, which is going to be a manual way. And the next,
all right, that I know how to do.
yeah, it takes some time, especially if you have a lot of contacts, to manually add them. And the next is going to be to import them. So if you have a lot, like 500 plus contacts, you can put them all in an Excel document and upload them all at once. And we'll walk through that in just a moment. But those are the two ways that you can add contacts. So I'm going to walk through adding a contact manually. So to add a contact, click on the teal button in the top right-hand corner, Add Contact. And this window will pop up. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll just always start at the top and work our way down and add as much information as we can. So when we were going through originally, and I showed the database health score, and it kind of gave like a percentage, and the information that we add here for our contact is going to help decide our score, and we get different points and percentages for the health of our contacts based on the information that we add. So for our full name, for our client's full name, email address, and phone number, and mailing address, we'll get a 20% score. So those are really going to help the health of your database. So those are key pieces of information that you would want. I would recommend, if you can, to follow along with me and add yourself as a contact. That way, if you ever need to do any tests or try anything out, you can just do it on yourself. So that way you don't accidentally send some crazy message to a contact and negatively affect that relationship. So I'm going to type in my name. So I'll just add myself today. Email address. So I'm going to type in my personal email address. Now, one thing I want to point out, if you copy paste email addresses in here, make sure that there are no spaces at the beginning of the email or at the end of the email address. If there are, you'll receive an error message and command won't let you save that contact. And 9 times out of 10, it's because especially when you copy out of Gmail, it puts an extra space at the end. All right, so then I'm going to add my phone number. And I'm going to make sure that it's listed as mobile, just because that way I know when I want to send a mass text to this client, to myself, that it's the mobile phone number. Select owner. So for me, I only have the option to have me. If you are on a team or a group, you would have a drop-down option and you can add it. The owner of this contact could be the team or the group, and that really depends on your agreement with your team lead. And then if this is a lead, so this is someone that maybe you just met that you don't really know, that you had a conversation about real estate or whatever, that you don't really have it established, you can mark them as a lead. And that will affect the functionality in Command, but that lets you know that this is a person that you really want to talk to and stay on top of for real estate. Then we have tags. So we could add tags earlier in the settings, but we can also add tags here. The system does have tags. So I could just come here and I can just start typing in Smyrna. So I live in Smyrna, and then I'm also an agent, so I can click agent, and I'm a dog owner. I went to UGA. Perfect. So that's how I select tags. But if you're new and you're just now starting to use Command, you can create tags right here. So I can make one for, actually, I'm going to do Keller Williams. So I type in Keller Williams and I don't have a tag for it. So it gives me the option to create a custom tag. So type in what you want the tag to be, and then you can select create custom tag. And then if you want to, you can give it a color. So I'm going to select red and I'm going to click add. And now I have a new custom tag. And it's that easy that you can add custom tags as you're creating contacts. So that way, as you're playing around with your contacts and adding, you can start adding them on the fly with what is going to be helpful and beneficial. So you can add it, you can have thousands of contacts if you want. Any which way that's going to be helpful and beneficial for your business, put them up here. Oh, one thing I would also say, I would recommend that you create an all contact tag. Just so there's going to be a time when you want to send out a mass email or a mass text to everybody. By having an all contact custom tag, it'll make it so much easier, I promise. So as you're getting started, create an all contacts tag. And if you've already pre-established in command, I'll show you in just a moment how you can bulk add contacts to tags. So we've added name, email, phone number. Let's start adding more information. So click on add more information, additional contact information. So if there's a second email or phone number, but I want to add in address. So I would recommend that you add in contact or the email or the property address for each one of your contacts, because it'd be great for you if you ever want to send a birthday card or a little note, or when you want to send them a smart plan for the monthly neighborhood nurture, you need their address in the system for them to have that access to that information. So the system knows what neighborhood they're in. So I always click same as mailing address, because if there's ever a day I need to download mailing labels, I can really easily lets me know this is their mailing address. You can add in their Facebook profile. So perfect. So you just type in, whatever it is. You can copy paste the URL. I like adding the Facebook URLs or any other social media. So I can add more than one. So I could add their Instagram and then, type that in there. Because let's say you want to target your database specifically on Facebook with a paid ad, but you only want to target people that you know. Well, you have to link your contacts in command to contacts in Facebook. So usually it's going to be done through email address, but we don't always have everyone's email address, or the email address that we have isn't necessarily the email address that your contacts use to create their Facebook account. But by including their social media address here, it's letting Facebook know this contact is actually affiliated with this Facebook profile and will help increase the number of contacts that you have that you can market to directly in Facebook. So just something to keep in mind. And then we'll continue, we'll go to about. So birthday, I always recommend adding their birthday in here. The more information, the better. All right. And then home anniversary, probably not something you regularly know about most of your friends. Realist is a great way to find that information out. You can go in, type their name into Realist, find their property, and it will let you know the day that they closed on that home. And that'll be beneficial for you, because most people buy or sell every 5 to 7 years. So if you have a contact, it's like, hey, you're coming up on 6 years in your home. How are things doing? Blah, blah, blah. And it just lets you know, all right, I may need to talk to this person because they may want to sell soon. Relationships, if they're married, have a partner, they have kids, you can start to add all those contacts here. If you have a contact, so let's just say, if they have a contact in the system already, it'll pull it in. But let's say there isn't a contact, so let's do Smith. I'm just going to make this up. It says no options. You can click add, and the system will they will add a new contact for Alex Smithfield. Just a really simple way that you can create those connections, and it becomes helpful when you go and you're creating opportunities, because if you start adding your contact to an opportunity, it'll automatically pull up their spouse as maybe a co-seller or co-buyer, and just simplifies things. All these informations like birthday, tags, home anniversary, relationships, work, all those account for 4% of the contact health score. So just keep that in mind. Company name, again, you can type that in. Job title, again, this is 4%. All right. Next is going to be sales pipeline. So the stage, you know, if you want to add them to your sales pipeline, which field they're captured, connected, selected from contacts, lead source. So here's a bunch of pre-populated lead sources if you want to affiliate them as a lead source. And the last item here is custom. So as I mentioned earlier, I created a custom wedding anniversary field. So see how I made it default so it automatically shows up here in the custom field. But let's say I didn't make it default, I would have to click on add custom field and then select wedding anniversary and then add it. So this just helps remove a couple of those steps. But so wedding anniversary, so I just don't have one. I'm not married, but I'll just make one up. Perfect. And now once you have all that information, click create. Now I'm going to click cancel because I already have myself in here. So I'll pull my contact up. So now this is what the contact card looks like. You can see name, all the tags that I have here, phone number, email address. Now I put that contact, my address in here, so it pulls my neighborhood, right? So I can click on this little preview link and it'll show me this really cool website that you can share with your contacts and say, hey, if you're ever curious on what's going on in your neighborhood, just check out this, this URL and it'll show you all the activity in the neighborhood. Here you go. You can see everything that's going on in Forest Hills. Now, because we are in Atlanta and we use 2 MLSs, the system pulls in both. It doesn't realize that it's actually the same information. Labs is working on that because I think there's only a handful of markets that use 2 different MLSs for a specific area. So just keep that in mind. But that's just a cool feature that we can share with our clients, and you can copy that link here. And then if they want to, let's say I live in Forest Hills, but I'm actually interested in Vining's Estates. Well, I would imagine that Vining's Estate. Let's say I'm interested in, why is this not showing up? All right, let's just say I'm interested in Vining's. I could add Vining's to this, so then that way when I look at this map or this cool little website, I can click in between Forest Hills and Vining's. So if your clients ever tell you, oh yeah, you know, we're interested in moving to Ansley or we're interested in moving to Brookhaven, you can add that, you could add those neighborhoods to that contact so that that link will have the most updated information for them about those areas. So that way, while they may not be ready to move just yet, they can stay up to date with what's going on in Brookhaven, and you are the supplier of that information, and you're able to provide them this curated information that no other agent can. Scrolling down, you can see here, birth date, home anniversary date. So all of that information, a ton of information on here. All right, so that is the contact card. If you ever want to edit it, you just click on the pencil. Anytime you see a pencil in command, that allows you to edit. So just click on edit here. And then I can go through here and I can add more contact or custom tags, change any of the information. Oh, it doesn't have my address in here. Street, so I'm just gonna add that. Mailing address. Add my Facebook profile. Perfect. And I'm gonna click save. And now you can see my contact health score is at 92%. If you want to add them to a smart plan, you can do that directly here. We'll walk through smart plans in TCO2 next Tuesday. And then to the right is archive. So if I wanted to get rid of this, I would click on archive and it would ask me to confirm that I wanted to archive. And that's where it would take you. You would then have to go into settings, into contacts, archive to make sure. So this is all the contact information over here on the left-hand side. Over on the right-hand side is going to be all the information of our communications and interactions with them. So it's going to default to the timeline, and timeline is going to go through and show all the activity that you've had with this contact. So here you can see when I was playing on the KW app. Here's everything I was doing on the app. I created a saved search, sent a text message, task expired. So you can just see all the stuff here. So I can keep track of all of my interactions with this contact. You can see here is an email. So I should be able to view the email. Well, I guess it's just going to pull up. Usually it'll show like the actual email, so that way you can see the message. But this is where I was talking about having all those other systems integrated into Command, so you can see everything right here. So I know every touch I've had with that contact, every email, every message. And it's just a great way to just really refresh myself before I reach out to this contact and say, hey, I saw you unsubscribe from Brookhaven. Are you no longer interested in that area? That easy. View calendar, same thing. It'll open up the calendar range. If I want to look for activities within a specific time period, I can look for, just the month of June. And then it'll just show me all the June activity. Or if I want to look at just, text messages, calendar invites, notes, that way I can kind of go through and organize it if I have specific questions. Now let's say I want to add an activity and I want to take note. I gave them a phone call and I want to write down what we talked about. So I click on this plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner, and then I can add an activity, add note, or add calendar event. So I want to say add an activity. I would select the interaction type, call. Now let's say, so I would just do call. I called them today, talked about summer travel to Florida, concerns about COVID. So keep a quick note of this. Perfect. So that way I can click save. And now I know, so when I come back in a month to look at this, I can say, hey, Nick, how was your trip to Florida? Were you guys safe? I hope no one got COVID. Did you, a lot of hand sanitizer? So I can just keep track of that there. I can also add a note. So if I just wanted, a note would just be like a quick comment. Maybe send hand sanitizer. So I can just send a quick little pop-by gift. Hey, no, you and your family are going to Florida. Here are a couple extra bottles of hand sanitizer so that way you and the kids are safe as you are traveling around. And then you can also add a calendar event. So to open up your Google Calendar, but it automatically loads to appointment with Nicholas Core, adds the contact information here. And it's that easy. So I could just update this to coffee with Nick. And I would select, let's say we're going to do July 3rd. Perfect. And I can hit save and it would automatically send this out and add to both of our calendars. So super easy and integrated. And you can also click add activity up here. It'll give you the same options as down here. Any questions on the timeline? All right, so now we have all these other different tabs within the timeline. So I'm going to click on opportunities, and opportunities in Command are going to be your sales funnels. So that opportunity of you working with them, do you have anything under contract? And if you have them in an opportunity, it'll show you here. So that way you can just easily find their opportunity and click right into it. Most recent, least recent, all opportunities, buy opportunities, sell. And if I wanted to, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to work with Nick. We're going to buy a place. I can create an opportunity directly from within the contact card. And you just fill in all the information. Super easy, fully integrated. The next is smart plans. So as I mentioned earlier, smart plans are going to be drip campaigns. So that way you can keep in contact with your database without having to manually write an email or send a text message. There are a lot of different smart plans. By clicking on the Smart Plans tab, it'll show all the smart plans that I have this contact assigned to. And I can add them to a smart plan right now. So I can click on Add to Smart Plan, and it will show me all the smart plans that I have available to myself or that I've created and are available. And I would just click Select. And then I would be able to start now, or I can say, oh, I want them to start getting this on Friday the 3rd. Perfect. And click Confirm. And that would add your contact to that smart plan. I want to close this. Why is it not closing? Right, well, it's not closing, so my apologies. So I'll just refresh. So that's how you add to smart plans. I spent a lot more time talking through smart plans in TCO2, and I've also done a couple deep dives. Let me know. We can talk through smart plans one-on-one if you'd like, but it's a great tool to use to have that constant contact with your database and really providing them unique real estate information. So you become their go-to agent. Next is tasks. So if you've created any tasks, it'll pop up here so I know exactly what I need to do. Oh, I need to work on my CMA for my listing and presentation, or I say, oh, go to the office to get some flyers on home inspection companies before my buyer presentations. You just click add task and type all that information in here. And I can set a due date. And by setting that due date, it'll automatically show up on my home screen on that day saying, hey, you need to make sure you stop by the office to get those flyers today. Next is notes. So if you want to add a note, so like right here, I just put a couple notes from a previous training. Really likes pizza, favorite pizza place is Antico. So from having a conversation with your contact, stuff like that comes up. So then when you're like, when you start reaching out and you're like, hey, let's grab lunch. How about we go to meet at Antico? Perfect. So now I know exactly, where my client likes to go. I can make a useful suggestion and I know we're going to have a good lunch. And it also lets them know that I listen and I pay attention. So it's just a quick way that you can jot some information down from your conversations. Add a note, super easy. Just title note and description. And then the last one is going to be saved searches. So these are going to be saved searches from your app and your website. So whenever you have a client that downloads the app and they create an account using the same email address that you have for them in Command, it'll link the two. And this way you can keep track of all the searches that they're doing in their app. So let's say you guys have your buyer presentation and they're like, oh, we really want to move to Brookhaven. And they come in here and they make a bunch of searches for Alpharetta, Roswell, Marietta. You can come in and see and say, okay, they're looking in the suburbs, and you can give them a call and say, hey, I saw that you were on the app playing around, but you were searching up in the suburbs. Did something change? And they'd be like, oh yeah, actually, I just got a new job. And it's going to be Marietta, so I'd rather live up in the suburbs. Or, oh, my kid just got accepted to this private school, and I don't really want to drive from Brookhaven up to Marietta. I'd rather just live in Marietta. Perfect. And it's just a great way that you can see, what's going on and stay in touch. It could be a little creepy, so just be mindful how you present that information, that we have all this in the back end. But this is when people are like, oh, how do I know what my clients are doing on the app? It's going to be right here in saved searches. Any questions about the timeline and all the information that we have here for the contacts? It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. It's a lot of information. So yes, at times it may feel a little overwhelming, but it's meant so that way you can have so much information about your database in one place that's easy to find. It really, everything in Command, as you start to play around and learn more about it, is about streamlining your business. Every decision, everything that's included in here is going to help you run your business more efficiently and more effectively. All right, so we walked through adding our contacts manually. Next thing I want to show you is how to add and import a ton of contacts. So up here, we have the import button. So click on the import button, and you'll see up here it says download the pre-made CSV to upload your contacts into the Command system. Click download to download that CSV, and that is going to have a CSV stands for comma separated values. That's going to be a template with a bunch of different columns that you can put your contact information in, and then you can upload it, and when it's in those specific columns, it will populate the fields within the contact card appropriately. This I would recommend doing if you have I'd say more than 50 contacts, because it's going to start to take a long time to manually add them. So you can upload them here. Now, the reason I mentioned CSV stands for comma separated values is because as you are copying and pasting information into this via CSV template, you cannot include any commas. Probably going to show up in maybe addresses, or if you start adding a bunch of custom tags, the comma to the system will read as a new column. So it'll throw off all the information in the remaining columns. So make sure you go through and remove all commas out of this data. And then make sure you save it as .csv as well. And then when you're ready, you can just drag and drop that contact or that document here, and it will upload all those. It may take an hour or two, depending on the size of the file, for all those contacts to show up. So I recommend using the CSV. And that's what I was showing you earlier in the import files. It'll keep track of every time you've uploaded a CSV of contacts. Now, the last thing before we jump into this screen is over to the right of the add contact, there's the 3 little ellipses. If you click on that, we have a new feature available to us just within the last month, is export all contacts. You used to only be able to export up to 50 contacts at once. You can now export your entire database at once. So if you click on export database, that little message pops up. And then once that document is ready to download, you'll get a notification up here. So it'll probably take maybe like 20 minutes for the Excel document to be prepared. But if you ever just need to download it, for whatever which reasons you need, you can now export your entire database. You can export mailing labels, and you can export mailing labels as PDF. So that's just a great functionality and feature to know that you have the capabilities of doing. So now I want to walk through, we only have 10 more minutes left, so I want to walk through the interface here and then quickly jump into tasks. So you can see here, name column, last visited, last contact, tags, Sage, phone. These are how I've set up my columns. I can customize my columns that I want. So to do that, I would just click on Customize Columns, and then I can drag and drop the order of tags that I want. And if I want to add a new column, I just click on the widget over here, and it will automatically populate, and I can move that right here. So this way you can have the specific information that you want to see every time you look at a contact right here and put it in the order that you want. And just click Apply. Now you can also look at it in list form, or you can look at it as icons. And this is going to show a lot more information. So it's all personal preference. And then over to the right, it says show 1 through 10. If you click on this, you can update it to show up to 50 contacts. So it'll just kind of help minimize the amount of times you have to click next to look at more contacts. All right. And now let's say you want to go through and filter, because I have, 1,300 contacts. I need to filter. I would click on filter here, and then all of the different fields will show up. So I could search for custom tags. I can look for just people that I have UGA, that went to UGA selected, and I can click on apply, which is right under that support button. And now it's going to show me all 119 of my contacts that have UGA as a tag. So again, you can come over here and say, I want to now look, let's see, date of birth. So within the last, and I can put 14 days. So I can just come down here and click on apply. And now it's going to show me all the people that have birthdays within the last 2 weeks, which I guess didn't really have any. And then I'm going to click clear all. Now let's say, let me refresh this so it removes all those filters. Let's say when you come in to command and or your contacts, you want to see only specific filters, or you want to see, make sure that it shows 50 instead of 10, you can go through here. You can add all your filters that you want to do. And then you can select Save Smart Plan Changes. And what that'll do is it'll save all of those filters and all of the customizations that you've made. So click on Save. And now it is now saved as all smart plans. I can also create a new smart view, and I can name this, and it can be, you know, I can just name this 50 contacts. And I can set this as my default view, save smart view. So now every time I log into my contacts, it's going to show me 50 contacts with those specific filters. And you can edit it by manage smart views, revert back to original. And then I want to delete this 50 contacts because I won't actually use that. Delete it. Perfect. So that's how you can change what you see for your contacts. Again, what's going to work best for you, what's most beneficial, and what's going to help you streamline your business. Any questions about contacts before we go into tasks? All right. So now I want to quickly show you tasks. It's pretty straightforward, but tasks is where you're going to manage all of the actual tasks that you need to create or have created. So today it's going to default to show me tasks for today, but I can show tasks for the next 7 days, which I don't really have any. Let's say I want to create a new task. So let's say I have a listing presentation, prepare CMA for listing presentation. And I want this to be due on my listing presentation, let's say is Friday the 3rd. So I need to have this by Thursday the 2nd. CMA for 1234 Main Street, Atlanta, GA 30342. And if I have a hyperlink here, I can add a link here. And let's say this is for a specific contact. So I know I'm going on a listing presentation for, I can search, I'll just do myself. So I can add here, and I will add contact. And I can associate contacts. And now I have this task. I'll click Create Task, and it will show up here. And it lets me know that this is for Nicholas Core to prepare my CMA. Awesome. It's that simple. It'll also show me here my completed tasks and the due dates and any archived tasks. And these are going to be contact tasks. Now, I mentioned earlier that we also have opportunity tasks. Opportunity tasks are as contacts move through the sales funnel, and we talked through this in TCO3. There are going to be different things that you need to do for those clients throughout that sales funnel. And each step of the process, you may need to make a phone call, you may need to schedule closing, you may need to schedule inspection, whatever it is. This will show you all the tasks that you have to do for each step of that sales funnel. So you can see here, outline cost of sale. So I had a listing presentation for these contacts. I needed to prepare that net sheet so they would know exactly what they would walk away with after, you know, paying commission, after paying off their mortgage, after maybe paying some closing costs, after paying taxes. So that was a task that automatically came up for me. And then again, I can show my task for today, past due, next 7 days. So I can know, okay, what do I have to do for the next week? And I can start to schedule and time block my calendar of the tasks that I need to do for my opportunities, as well as my contact tasks. Now, so this is going to show me, again, just for today, next 7 days, what I have to do for my CMA. But since I have the task widget on my home screen, when I click home, tasks, well, it should show, I don't have any tasks that are due today. Actually, let me come back here. Let me do next 7 days. I'm going to cancel. I want to edit this, so I'll click on it. I'm going to change the due date. Why is it not letting me edit this? Snooze. All right. I was going to try to edit the due date so that way it would show. I'll just create a new task. New task. Boop, boop. So due date, create task, associate. I'll just add my name really fast. Add contact, associate contacts, create task. Perfect. So this is due today. And then I can go home. So as I mentioned, so when I log in, here's that task that I have due today. So that is how that all works together. So I know when I log in, I have to do this specific task today. So I can add a task also directly from the home screen. So I can create new task here, same pop-up windows, can still associate contacts. I can add tasks from the tasks applet, and I can also add tasks from the contact card itself. So we've come to the end of our training this morning. We've walked through a lot of information. We kind of walked through the interface of Command. We walked through our settings. We set up our marketing profile, walk through creating our contacts, everything that the contact card has, and tasks. So it's a lot of information. Any questions that you have this morning that I can answer for you right now before we jump off our call? You can either chat me or unmute yourself. All right. Well, if there are no questions, I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
I have one question.
Oh, yeah.
Under Docusign, once we have signed in, I received the link through the email.
Yep.
Do I create an account separate from the regular login on the internet, or how do I do that?
So let's take that question offline, and you and I can connect on setting that up.
Okay.
Just send me a quick email after this, and we can set up some time. My afternoon's free, so we can jump on a call.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining me. As you're starting to play around in Command, do not hesitate to reach out with any questions. I'm always here to help. Always refer to Keller Williams University. They have a lot of great content there. And every Tuesday morning, I do the Take Command series. So next week will be TCO2. So we'll walk through smart plans, goals, and referrals, and how to get paid in Command, since we all want to get paid. So let me know what I can help you guys with. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will hopefully speak with you all soon.
Thank you very much, Nick. That was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Super
Thank
helpful.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.